Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Ripple now set to tap into UAE's $400 billion financial market. Here's how. Okay guys, let's get into it. You love to see it guys, you love to see it. So, got some stuff here that I want to show you. Two parts that I'm going to cover here, two articles, but this is the first part. And yeah, as you can see, Ripple are really making moves. They're really making strides. It wasn't so long ago that Ripple got granted a license. I want to say it's a DFSA license or something like that, which basically allows them to offer their payment solutions in the UAE, which is great. Like, they're the first to actually get that granted, which again, I'm not surprised because one, you know, Ripple have been around longer. They've been building up these kind of relationships for a long time. And two, you know, they've got a great product. You know, XRP is an amazing cryptocurrency. So this absolutely makes sense. And so, yeah, basically, UAE, it's known that they service roughly around $400 billion. This is something that they actually said themselves in I think it was in a press conference or something like that, but it was talking about payments and they were saying that's roughly how much they service in, I think it was like a yearly basis or something like that. And so they've basically been having, you know, meetings with UAE officials and, you know, they're making strides. They're starting to try and tap into their market, basically, which, again, it makes sense. This is what we talk about with growth and adoption, right? This is how Ripple will continue to expand and dominate within the payment space. So with that, I just want to get into this other article here. Ripple expands in the Middle East as two new UAE companies integrate its payment technology. Okay, so we've got two banks here who've now actually took on using Ripple payments. So let's just get the two names down. So it's Zand Bank and Mamo are now going to use Ripple's blockchain technology, which is not really Ripple's, but you know, we get what they're talking about. And so they're going to be using the XRP ledger for cross-border payments. And so, look, this is absolutely incredible. You know, this could just be the start of many other banks because, as I said from the first article, they're looking to tap into their whole market if possible. Now, do they have to tap into the whole market? No. This is still good, and I think they will get more partnerships over time. But it's a great start, and it's still good to say. And I've said this numerous times. Ripple don't have to get every bank using XRP for it to be successful. It can be successful with getting a good amount. That's fine. There is going to be competition, as we've seen. And so this is another thing that I just wanted to tap onto. And I feel bad because I always feel like I have to kind of give the reality to it as well. As not just like, I can't just be like, oh, this is great, this is great, this is great. I always try and give the reality to it, but it's because I'm just trying to make you guys understand from the whole $10,000 perspective. I'm just trying to give you as much evidence as I can as to why I don't follow those types of numbers, right? So, you know, if we go by the $10,000 theories, right, the whole thought process is that eventually there's going to be this switch that's flipped, and then that's it. You know, all these banks are suddenly just using XRP and bang, the price just goes up to $10,000, right? Well, this is the kind of proof that you've got here to show you that that's not how this is going to work. Because if you look here, you've got two banks that have now come on board and they've announced the partnership. They've not tried to keep it a secret. They've not tried to wait and say, hey, you know, let us know when you're flipping the switch and then we'll just start using it. No, they're telling you right here, no, we've made a new partnership. We're going to use XRP. And what have I been telling you guys pretty much from the inception of my channel? I've said this will be a staggered process. It's not going to be this flip the switch moment and then every bank is using XRP. It's not going to be that every bank will use XRP. Do I think that they'll get a good share of the market? Yes. But is there going to be competition? Yes. Do they need to have every bank using XRP for it to be successful? No. So this is really positive. I want to make sure that I'm clear on that, but I'm trying to make you guys understand that you can see here, two banks have now announced we're working with XRP. They're not trying to keep no NDA. They're not trying to keep anything under a secret. They're just saying, hey, yeah, we're going to use it. So when people are saying like, oh yeah, this is why it's not going up and we're waiting for this flip the switch moment. Well, this is proof that that's not really accurate. Because why have they announced they're using XRP now? And why are they using XRP now? Why are they not waiting for this flip the switch moment? Ripple already have 300 partnerships as it is, so this is just building on top of that. all those banks and companies and institutions are already using XRP. They've not been waiting for this one date to just flip the switch. No, they're using it now. And so this is what I'm trying to make you guys understand. This is going to happen over time. It's going to be a staggered process. So for people who are thinking, by the end of this year, there's going to be that flip switch, like as soon as the lawsuit is announced, it's completely done, that then the flip the switch, like that's just not going to happen. I hate to break it to you guys, but that's just not going to happen. But guys, what we're seeing right here is adoption growing in front of our eyes. We've got 2 other banks who are starting to use Ripple and XRP. And then you've also got the fact that we can see that, Ripple are building up ties within the UAE. So this doesn't have to be where it ends. This is just 2 banks that they've got at the moment. They've only just started their relationship in terms of all these big talks. So how far can they get over another few years? Right? There could be plenty more banks coming over to XRP. So, this is why I'm trying to make you guys understand. Don't worry about these big numbers. The value's there, but we've got the reality. You can see the proof's right here in front of you, if you're willing to accept it and just see it, the proof is right here to show you what the reality is. But the reality isn't so bad. It hasn't got to be a thing where you feel like it's got to get to $10,000 or nothing. In my opinion, that's the way I feel. If XRP can get to, eventually $100, that would be incredible. That would still be amazing to me. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be selling not all of my XRP, but I'll be definitely selling some of my XRP before $100 anyway. I'll be selling some of my XRP if it gets to $10, $20. So, that's just me. Everybody's different. But, I think when you're looking at this, don't be disheartened about what I'm showing you, because this is a huge positive. It's still great for XRP. It shows it's being adopted and people want to use it. So it's still showing it has value. It's just not quite the value that people are trying to show you that it has. So I really don't want this to be a down video, because to me, I really like to see this. I think this is great, in all honesty. I think this is really positive. But yeah, this is evidence, right? This is proof that what people say just doesn't really make sense, that some people push. And this is why I'm not going to get too long into a rant on this, because I've already covered it, but this is why I get so, passionate to try and show you guys this, because the evidence is right there if you want to see it. You can see it all unfolding right now. You've just got to be willing to see it and take it in, So I hope this helps, and as I say, this is still a huge positive, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of relationship Ripple are going to have with the UAE over time, because this is just the beginning. I'm looking forward to seeing what further things could come from them and seeing where this can truly go, because I think there's a lot of potential here. I really do. So this is very good. This is bullish. Please understand, I'm not trying to put this down in any way, shape or form. To me, this is a massive positive. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.